Hi, I'm John Farrell with Gaming Trend. Here I have the lead designer and project lead for the Marvel role-playing game, just released, right? Just fresh
Came out this week.
You must be feeling pretty good. It's probably a lot of years of effort that's coming through.
It's the end of a long road, but actually it's not the end. It's the start of an even longer road.
Don't remind me.
Because we have a lot more product coming out for it. So it's going to be this is a whole line we've been working on for years, hopefully decades. Who the hell knows, right? But we love this. We're having a great time with it. So very proud of what's come of this. It's been amazing.
Happy to chat with you as well here at Gen Con.
Yeah, and I'm interested to hear, there's a lot to develop in terms of mechanics for a universe this wide with this many characters. How is that something you approached mechanically?
Oh, we didn't do anything. No, we basically broke all the heroes into 6 different ranks. So like your low rank is like a shield agent that goes all the way up to like Captain Marvel rank 6. And those are your rough power levels that people have, right? And that way we can actually have all sorts of different characters in the game and have them work together too. That makes sense?
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, absolutely.
It's late in the show.
One of the cool things about our system, the way we do damage reduction, we wanted people to feel like they were still able to punch each other, no different than you would see Thor and Hulk going at head to head. But the way damage reduction works, we allow people to still punch each other, but can kind of tick down little by little, almost like a long superhero battle.
And so is one of the differences between the different tiers of characters the level of damage reduction?
Well, damage reduction usually comes from a power, but the higher rank you are, the more access to powers you have. Also, it makes you have more ability points. There's a whole character creation system that's a point-filled system, essentially. And for every rank, you get so many points to put in your character, so many power slots, etc., etc.
And so for people who don't know anything about this game yet, what's the basic theory behind the mechanics?
The best game ever. No.
It's a good thing to shoot.
It's a game that uses what we call the D616 system, which is 3 6-sided dice. You can use any one, rate them from your Yahtzee game, whatever you want to do. One of those should be an off-color die, or you can put a mark on it with a pen or whatever. That's your Marvel die. That's your middle die. The game is called the D616 system because, well, that's the Marvel Earth, right? It's Earth 616. But also, that's the best roll you can get in the game, is a 616. So if you get a 1 on the Marvel die, that actually counts as a 6. Plus, it does double damage if you're trying to do an attack. Plus, if you're using a power, it can do some kind of really cool special effect.
And you talked about other things coming down the line. I'm sure it's going to be a while, and there's a lot in the works. Do you know where you're planning on taking it?
Well, we have a lot of ideas. In the near future, we're doing Cataclysm of Kang.
Yeah, so we have the Cataclysm of Kang adventure book that's coming out in November, which is a series of 6 adventures. You can either play them as one shot or string them together as a campaign. Then at the beginning of next year, we actually have the X-Men expansion book that will expand the game with more X-Men mutant powers, traits, characters. And then at the end of next year, we have the Spider-Verse expansion coming out with plans for some additional titles after that.
Well, so not a lot of work, just all.
Just X-Men, Spider-Man, yeah.
Tired boys. But it's the best goddamn thing to work on. Can I swear to her? I'm not sure. No, it's the best thing to work on. Right? It's such a great, fun universe to work in, or multiverse to work in, and to be able to do this so that we can help other people at home tell their own Marvel stories. That's just incredible.
Yeah, something that's really great about our system and the mechanics that Matt designed is that it is very accessible. So the 3 dice system that he was talking about, it's a 1 roll system. Everyone has D6s in their home. We really wanted anyone, whether it's your first RPG, whether it's your 10th RPG, you can pick this up and have a good time.
And I do see in here that it's relatively, I don't know if the camera will get this, as character sheets go, relatively comprehensible in terms of what the stats basically are and what they stand for.
Now, we try to make it clean and accessible so that everybody can actually just play off a character sheet, right? You don't have to have, flipping through books, everything else. It's all really right there, right? And, if you're a hardcore role player who likes crunch too, there's some of that in there as well. All the powers, the character creation system. People will be building characters off this thing for hours, weeks. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I guess if somebody wants to get into it and have it be a little more complicated, is the idea they just choose a higher tier character with more complicated
they can do that. But you also get to choose the type of adventures you want to do. Like the Cataclysm of Kang has actually got an adventure for each rank, right?
Okay.
So if you want to do an origin story where you take your character all the way from street level all the way up to cosmic level, you can. Or you can just play through them individually with whatever Marvel characters you want to, or the ones that we suggest for you, provide for you as well. Really your call.
Well, and as far as that goes, what kind of characters do you play when you're playing this game?
Do I get to play?
We try to, he's too busy. No.
Now, most of what I'm doing when I play the game is trying to break it, right? So I will play any character I can, and a lot of it's just testing the game, right? So I have a lot of fun with it. I mean, Spider-Man is probably my favorite character, What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of things do you discover when you, as the designer, are trying actively to break your own game?
That it sucks. But the whole idea behind game design, game design is an iterative process, right? You come up with something and you have this platonic ideal in your head about how wonderful it's going to be. And then you put it down on your paper and you're like, let's try it. Oh no, oh God, no. And then you're like, it's broken. How do we fix it? You can't fix something that's not there. You have to have a first draft. And to that point, we actually had a playtest version of the game come out last April. It was a 120-page, $10 book, comic book size, and we got feedback from tens of thousands of players, Marvel fans and gamers, that really helped us shape this thing. It was amazing.
That's a lot to sort through.
That was what Amir was for.
Yeah. Amir on our team was tasked with going through and actually looking at every single response that we got. And what we did was, if we saw that there were a lot of responses in a similar area, we decided, okay, this is something that isn't working. We did also get some feedback of things that people loved, and we wanted to make sure that we doubled down on that as well.
And how does this compare to the old Marvel face rip role-playing system?
Well, I actually ran that game at Gen Con when I was in high school. Right? I actually have old copies.
So 5 or 6 years ago?
Exactly. You're a good man. Next beer's on me. Anyway, it was. I had a great time playing that game. I still have the battle maps from the old box set laminated at my house. I played the hell out of that game. And in a lot of senses, this is a spiritual successor for that. It's gone through a lot of different iterations over the years. There was the Saga edition. They used the Fate deck that TSR Wizards came out with like in '98. There was the first one that came out from Marvel in 2001 that had the stones in it. There was the Margaret Weiss edition that came out 10 years ago that I actually worked on. I was one of the designers for it. And then there's this edition. To me, it's getting back to basics to say, what is this game about? It's about coming up with your stories, but also about having good, fun superhero battles, right? Punching each other out. Role-playing game battles are the special kind of thing where we're going to slow everything down, enjoy every minute of this thing, right? And it really does replicate that well.
That's the part that's the most mechanized, part people engage with the most.
Exactly.
And is that to say that most of the powers are kind of combat focused, or they range a little far?
No, there's actually tactical stuff, a lot of other stuff that we put in the game. And a lot of it works during combat, but you can do all sorts of other stuff as well. We encourage role-playing too. It's a good thing. Yeah.
It's a necessary part of the process.
It is. Sometimes it's the best part of the process.
Well, it's been very good speaking to you. I hope to hear more from you in the future, and I look forward to reading through this later on.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Boom.
So, here you go.
I don't know why it's harder to talk to a person when there's a camera on you, but
That's how it works.
Yeah, and I just kind of threw you in the deep end, didn't I?
that's how, the first time I went to court, that's how it worked too.
It was just like,
Go.
actually, I want to do something real quick.